Welcome to the deep dive, where we take a huge stack of research and notes and, we really just distill the insights that stick. Today, we are immersing ourselves in some fascinating territory, guided by a book called Ghosts of Us. And this book, it really shifts how we think about who we are. It's an examination of what the author calls the relational field of being human. Its central point is, well, it's powerful. We are shaped not just by what happens to us, but by who happens near us. That means everyone, the stranger, the brief colleague, the person who was there for 20 years.
Right? And it completely forces you to rethink individuality. I mean, the book's whole argument is that we're not these, solitary entities walking around in the world.
Not at all.
Instead, you're presented as an entire archive of human presence, carrying these little traces of everyone you've ever met. It's in your posture, the way you speak, your emotional patterns. They're all layered with other people.
And what makes this so useful for you, the learner, is how the book treats that influence. It calls it morally neutral. It's not about blame, it's not about praise, it happens, often without your consent. And that connection is just the condition of being human.
That framing is the absolute key. In a culture that's always pushing for, radical independence, this book insists that interdependence is just reality. It's not some ideal. It's the air we breathe. And the most critical takeaway it offers is this sense of relief. When you finally recognize this inherited past, these ghosts, that recognition loosens grip. You don't have to fight it. You just have to see it.
So if our mission here is to understand how others live inside us, let's start with the first theme, the quiet inheritances. This is all about the ways we're shaped without anyone ever intending it.
Yeah, the nonverbal stuff. The book stresses that relational memory isn't formed through effort. It's not like studying, it's just exposure. We collect the atmosphere, the tone, the posture of people around us. Your body remembers how someone felt sitting next to you, even if your mind was completely elsewhere.
But wait, if these are unconscious gestures, how can we even identify them? Isn't that just my personality?
Well, the book makes a distinction. It talks about the hands that raised us without thinking. These aren't genetic, they're echoes. Think about how you fold your arms. Is it in a specific, maybe slightly tense way that one of your parents used to? Or the way you tilt your wrist when you pick up a cup?
Right.
You didn't practice that. It's a memory that lives entirely in your body, and you honor it through repetition without even knowing it. When you notice the act, you see the ghost.
That reframes so many little daily movements. And it's not just people, is it? The book says the environment plays a role too. The rooms that remember every conversation.
Yes, that's a huge conceptual leap in the book. Rooms are not neutral containers. They absorb the emotional weight of what happened in them. They hold the texture of old arguments or gentle presences. It's why you can walk into a place and immediately feel either calm or on edge.
So that sudden tightness in your chest you might feel in a certain house isn't just your anxiety. You could be responding to the room's memory of tension.
You're literally reading the room. It's like residual emotional static. And that extends to a family's lived atmosphere.
Yeah.
The noise a family leaves behind isn't just about volume. It's about how tension was held or if silence was used as a tool. You carry that expected atmosphere into every room you inhabit as an adult.
So if those quiet things are shaping us, what happens when the influence is more active? Or, crucially, when they're in absence? Let's move to our second theme, presence and absence as active forces.
This is one of the book's most powerful ideas, I think. Treating absence as a form of presence. That void left by someone who should have been there, it's not nothing. It's highly instructional.
That's vital. Someone who always failed to show up might have taught you to expect disappointment, or maybe to overperform to get attention. The silence teaches you just as much as speech does.
Exactly. And it explains why a relationship that ended without any explanation can live longer in your body than one that was fully resolved. That lack of closure becomes this persistent, demanding presence. It's an open loop your mind just keeps trying to solve.
And on the flip side of that, there's the impact of fleeting presence. The moments with strangers. The book has this beautiful phrase for it, the breath shared between strangers.
Yes. The argument is that intimacy doesn't always need years to build. Sometimes it's just a meeting of atmospheres in a moment where your guard is down.
In a queue on a train.
Exactly. And in those moments, you meet a version of yourself that's, well, it's free from the weight of your own history. You're not trying to be the person your family or friends expect you to be.
You're unburdened.
You're just existing in the unguarded pause between one breath and the next. And because there's no expectation, this shared witnessing creates a kind of softness that you rarely get in close relationships. It's just pure, momentary coexistence.
Okay, let's unpack this idea of self then, because that suggests we aren't fixed beings. That takes us right to theme 3, the many selves and unnamed connection.
Yeah. Chapter 7 suggests our identity is less like a solid rock and more like water. It just takes the shape of whatever container it meets. Who you are with your boss is not who you are with your best friend. And the book says this isn't inconsistency. It's adaptation. It's survival.
I find that so interesting, but is there a danger there? How do you know if you're adapting authentically or just being inconsistent?
The book suggests it's about the unconscious response. For example, some people, just by being gentle, they draw out your softness, your defenses just drop. Others, maybe because of some old history, they bring your edges right to the surface. It's not a choice. It's your past's architecture meeting theirs.
And this adaptability must influence how we show love, especially the kind that's never spoken aloud. The book calls it the love that was never named.
This is the love that's sustained entirely by small, continuous acts. It's remembering someone's favorite chipped mug. It's a friend noticing your energy dip and just steering the conversation somewhere easier.
It's a partner just sitting beside you when you both have nothing left to give.
Right. And because it's not based on big declarations, it often feels more grounding than words. It's rooted in steady presence.
Spicy.
It's felt when people just orient themselves to your emotional landscape without being asked, which leads right into the concept of shared burden, or the strange comfort of shared tiredness.
Shared tiredness as a permission slip. I love that phrasing.
Exhaustion becomes a permission slip without words. It dissolves all the usual expectations. It just leads to this gentle, unspoken acceptance that you're both carrying the weight of life. The walls come down without a single negotiation.
And that shared weight is often expressed through just doing things together, the work we do together without speaking.
Yes, mundane labor, folding laundry, washing dishes, it stops being a chore and becomes its own conversation. It's a physical way of saying I am still here or I have not turned away, especially when words are just too hard.
But that coexistence isn't always so gentle. So let's turn to the unavoidable part of it all. Theme 4, conflict and rupture.
The book has a very unique view of arguments. It looks for the tenderness hidden inside arguments. The insight is that what comes out in a conflict is usually much older than the topic you're fighting about. Arguments are often rehearsals of old fears, and beneath all the noise is just this deep longing to matter.
That changes everything. It means the friction isn't the problem, it's actually the container for the tenderness. The plea underneath all the shouting is basically, please do not stop being here with me.
Yes, the argument is a clumsy, panicked attempt to secure the connection.
And what about when that connection is lost? When rupture happens?
The book is clear that loss isn't erasure. It just transforms a connection
Wait.
into a memory. The people you couldn't hold on to become quiet footprints in the soil of our becoming.
And those footprints are physical, right? The body remembers. Reaching for a phone that's not there, going to share a piece of news before you remember. The loss is remembered in the doing.
Precisely. And in the end, the book makes its purpose very clear. It's not offering a 5-step plan for healing. It doesn't tell you what to do. Its role is simply to say, this happened, this is happening, this matters.
It's offering accuracy, really, so you can meet yourself with more compassion, seeing your reactions not as personal flaws, but as reasonable responses to everything you've accumulated.
It helps us see ourselves as porous, as multi-layered.
So if we step back and look at this whole deep dive, the ghosts are really just evidence. They're proof of connection, not something to banish. Our deepest self is a collective creation.
And it's completely reciprocal. Just as you carry others, you are also becoming a ghost to someone else. You're the ones we will one day become ghosts to.
Mm-hmm.
You leave these unintentional traces, a moment of patience, a certain way of being quiet. And knowing you have this quiet influence, it can really soften that sense of isolation so many of us feel.
The book really only asks one thing of you, the learner, a willingness to notice. Not to analyze or judge, but just to see the quiet ways others have lived inside you.
And it ends by discussing the quiet that holds us all together, this invisible foundation that exists beneath all our language. So considering everything we've talked about, how our emotional weather is sensed by rooms, by strangers, I want to leave you with this thought. If our existence is truly this shared, what simple daily gesture, a pause, a breath, a moment of silence are you passing on to someone else right now without realizing it? And what history are you unintentionally honoring through that one unconscious act?